Labdien visiem!
Good morning, everybody. Welcome here in Nordic-Baltic conference, 2 days conference, actually. Library as a community center and a meeting place promoting integration. Before we start, we of course would like to know who we are here today, who came today here, and actually please raise your hand those who are from Sēlija region. From Sēlija region. There is one representative. Who is from Vidzeme region? Who is from Zemgale and Kurzeme? Maybe somebody? Oh, they here are representatives. Very nice. And all the others, I believe, are here from Latgale. Nice. Raise your hands those who are from library, who are library professionals here. Majority here. And who is from social services or those who work with integration issues? Somebody from educational area, from educational sphere? Okay, nice. So we are here, a lot of people, representatives from many areas, from all Latvia, and very important spheres are represented. And this conference with this kind of topic, it's not just coincidence. If we look at the library and the role of the libraries in the new world, the role is changing. From one point, we just say, what is library? Just a place where people go to do something for free. But actually, it's not like this in nowadays. It's a place where you can meet. It's a place where you can cooperate, where you can educate, and where can you get a sense of community, sense of belonging to the place where you are living. So that's why we have 2 days conference here. My name is Georgs Rubenis, and I'm proud to moderate the first day of the conference. My aim, my goal is to speak less, but to fill in the spaces between lectures, between presenters, and sometimes tell them that their time has stopped, so that we keep in time. Before we start, I need to tell you a little technical questions. One of them is that, like it's mandatory. If you need, if we will need to evacuate the building, please keep the green signs or do what the people who work here say you to do. VC toilets are there. Go out of this building and take left. You will find the notices. During the conference, after presenters, there will be a time to ask questions. I hope you will use this time, and we will have an assistant with a microphone who will help you. You will be able to ask the questions that you are interested in. And I also want to mention that the conference will be held in 2 languages. Basic language will be, primary language will be Latvian, but our guests from Estonia, from Norway, from Sweden, they will speak English. So those who need translation, please take the headphones there in the corner. You will find them to listen to the synchronized translation interpretation. But at the end of the day will not end when the conference ends. At 5 a.m. we will have dinner with the live music. And now would be time to open the conference. And that's why I invite 2 people with their introduction speeches. 2 will be representatives from the organizers of these conferences, one from international level, one from national level. And then also our local representative from Rēzekne Central Library, the director. But as the first one, Nina Hvīd-Enevoldsen, director of the Nordic Council of Ministers Office in Latvia.
Council of Ministers Office in Latvia. Nina, please.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor being here today, not only in this city, but also in the region. It's my first visit ever to Latgale and to this region. I just came to Latvia around 10 days ago, so it's really an honor opening my first event here today. Thank you very much. As a director of the Nordic Council in Latvia, it is a great honor to welcome you to the Nordic-Baltic Integration Conference on Library. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay, now it's better. Integration Conference on Library as a community center and meeting place promoting integration. This conference is correctly, as stated before, organized by the Nordic Council of Ministers office in Latvia, together with the Ministry of Culture, where we also have representatives here today, and in close cooperation with the local city library. Thank you very much for that as well. The Nordic countries have a long-standing tradition for collaboration with the Baltic states. Since the 90s, we have been among the first being present in this region. In particular, as the first foreign country to strengthen our diplomatic and cultural presence towards the eastern border. Together with national and local authorities in the Baltic states, the aim of the Nordic countries is to work for safeguarding our sovereignty, democracy, and our security, and the right to live in a free democracy. As a part of this journey together, cultural integration and diversity are common denominators for our Baltic-Nordic partnership. And this is why we are here today. I'm very happy, as I said, that this is the first place I visit as a new director for the Nordic Council of Ministers in Latvia. Latgale is in fact the only of the 5 cultural regions in Latvia that stretches from Lithuania almost to Estonia, which makes it central to the Baltic countries. Latgalian history has a strong link both to Lithuanian and Estonian cultures, and yes, if you look long enough back in time, it also has a long and stretching link to the Nordic countries as well. Cultural interaction is in the Latgalian DNA. An experience we can learn a lot from, as we today are being tested with geopolitical challenges pushing our borders and citizens to their utmost, and that in particular includes those close to the eastern border against Russia. Today we will discuss the potential role of libraries in promoting integration. We're going to learn from Baltic and Nordic professional experiences. You're all here from many different sectors, hopefully being inspired to find new ways of promoting democratic integration and resilience. And, not at least, the unusual shame of Zeimuļs, I hope I tried to pronounce it correctly, I will get there one day, will inspire us all to think out of the box, being vital, finding new innovative solutions for the challenges ahead of us. This conference is aimed at exploring ways to foster integrations of refugees and immigrants in outer regions. We will focus on the potential role public librarians and libraries can have as a community center and platforms for various incentive, inclusive integration-related activities. This event has gathered both international and local audience, library specialists, professionals from various municipality services responsible for welcoming and integrating the newcomers, developers of national integration and library policy, NGOs and researchers. You are all at the forefront in welcoming immigrants and newcomers. In an area of polarization and clashing of values and future visions, dialogue skills becomes central. Therefore, today we will explore libraries' experience with providing occasions for informal language training and socialization, learning about our common values, as well as improving newcomers and other inhabitants' critical thinking on new digital platforms. Tomorrow, we will share experience on using library space as a resource when introducing new function and the role of dialogue in community building. This conference is a part of the Nordic-Baltic overarching project fostering refugees and immigrant integration, what we call the 4N 0.2 project. It's running until 26. It's building on the successes of a previous project called 4N 0.2, which also ran in 24, from 22 to 24. And it's aligning activities with the strategic priorities of national and local integration stakeholders in the Nordic-Baltic region. And we intend to continue this kind of dialogue in the future as well from the Nordic Council of Ministers, if I may add. Integration is a multifaceted feature and it involves many different stakeholders. For example, the previous 4N conference took into account stakeholders and activities in Kaunas and focused on inclusive cities. The next conference will be in Tartu and it will discuss digital tools and affordable housing, just to give you a flavor of the diversity in the project. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to thank all stakeholders, the Latvian, the Lithuanian, Estonian and Norwegian speakers, the moderators and facilitators of the dialogue circles, our colleagues in Lithuania and Estonia, our collaborating partners at the Departments of Integration and Cultural Policy, at the Ministry of Culture, the National Library and the Norwegian Association of Local and Regional Governments. By these few words, I wish you all a great conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nina. Paldies, Nina. Un kā nākamo runātāju aicinu Kultūras ministrijas parlamentāro sekretāru Aleksandru Kalēju. Lūdzu, Aleksandru.
Good day, dear colleagues, partners from Latvia, Baltic countries and Nordic countries. Thank you, Georg, for the nice words. We truly live in a very polarized world. The place for the society where to meet and where to speak is very important. Thanks for the Nordic Council and Rēzekne for welcoming us. I'm very pleased to speak to you today. And today, library is more than just a bookshelf, more than a reading room. And you know it very well. You know about the significance and work done. As we've seen also during our visits to different regions of Latvia, libraries, these are meeting centers for communities. These are places where people speak, places where new ideas and projects are born. And I hope that also today this place will be like an impulse for new ideas, for new cooperations. You have such a wonderful possibility to network here today. And also we hope that in next 4 months we will have more participants from different regions of Latvia. When we look back to what we've done, there are several things that we have managed to implement and that we continue to work on. Changes, amendments in the library law, new supports for within different European projects. We have developed new amendments for the library law. Now we define the library not just as a place of education, but also a place for information and community meeting. We also introduce the idea of libraries as methodological centers. We define a range of different services that libraries provide. And what is very important, less paperwork and less frequent accreditations. Now we speak a lot about diminishing the bureaucracy, and we need to start with small steps to make the system more simpler. Of course, we cannot refuse all the requirements, but we are open to your ideas, to weak points that we can improve in future. The country also continues to provide internet connection to libraries, which is also important for places with few inhabitants. We also try to help for you to work in a way that could be better and more convenient for you. Now we have two big European projects where libraries will be involved, both with the infrastructure and knowledge, as well as places where people can get support in crisis situations. Yet communities are not created alone. Not libraries nor NGOs individually can do it. Community centers can be created only when we have this cooperation between libraries, NGOs, municipalities, and of course also the inhabitants. Community feeling cannot be possible without library workers. You know each of the visitors, either it's a grandma or a child or a person who has just returned to Latvia, and only you are the ones who can bring people together. So this is why I would like to highlight that libraries ensure space and confidence, while NGOs and active inhabitants, they ensure activity and movements, and only in this way we can have a joint community center. And the libraries, these are homes for these centers. Today we also end the time when we celebrate 500 years of book. So today I'm very keen on Ivan Dakai and her diaries, and she has said that nation lives as long as its books live. So this is a narration line where we see that the coming years depend on you, on your work. On behalf of Minister of Culture, I would like to thank you for your work. That's quite often is not so seen, not so noticed, but it's also very important, both for the society and also it's the basis for society work. So we should hear clearly that every library is open to inhabitants and every library has an open card. So we would hope that these 2 days will inspire you for new works and new ideas. Thank you.
Paldies, Aleksandra.
Thank you, Alexander. And now the floor is given to also local representatives, and the floor is given to Zikrita Gosva.
Labdien, cienījamie kolēģi, sadarbības partneri un draugi. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, partners, and our friends. I'm very happy to welcome you today in Rēzekne, the city where different cultures, languages, and experience has always met. In our region, a library is not only a place for books, it's a place for people, and it's a more important thing. A place where everybody can find support, information, encouragement, and understanding. The theme of our conference, Library as a Community Center and Meeting Place Promoting Integration, perfectly reflects a path that libraries around the world are taking today. So society is changing, needs are changing, and also libraries are evolving along with them. We at Rēzekne Central Library and our branch libraries feel it almost every day in our work, in helping people who are now call Rēzekne temporary or their new home. This is especially true for civilians from Ukraine. Our experience shows that library can be one of the first stops on the road to social inclusion for those seeking fresh start in an unfamiliar environment. Today and tomorrow we have opportunity not only to share experiences, but also listen, inspire, and generate ideas for the future. Future where the library remains a trusted place for everybody. I would like to thank the Nordic Council Ministry Office in Latvia and also Ministry of Culture and all those who contributed to making the conference possible. And greatest thanks, of course, goes to all of you to being here, for your professional dedication, for your desire, and be a part of positive changes. May this conference give us energy, inspiration for new projects, ideas, cooperation, and courage for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction words. So basically, these will be the topics that we will talk about today and also tomorrow. We are going to talk both about libraries as a community centers, about the newcomers and their needs and the library roles in this, and probably about many different kind of places. But at the moment, I will ask us get and dive deep into the topic. And our parliamentarian secretariat already talked a little about the library law, so we will hear about that. And also looking at the library law and its annotation, you understand that during its development there will be many public hearings, public talkings. Are there people who have joined the development of library law? Is there somebody who have been involved in library law development? Maybe somebody else? Okay, now I will like Katrīna Taurēna. She is the representative from Cultural Ministry, Division of Archives, Libraries and Museums. Thank you. Great. Thank you so much. Good day, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Labdien. I am happy to be here today, and when the moderator asked where you are from, I had to raise my hand that I'm from Vidzeme, because I live in Riga at the moment, but in my heart I'm from Liepāja. And I have to confess that I have never been in Rēzekne before, so I'm really, really happy to be here today and to greet you here. Thank you so much, Nordic and Nordic Council's Ministry. Thank you for initiating these kind of discussions and talking about this topic, and especially in the library area. My name is Katrīna. I represent Cultural Ministry, Ministry of Culture, and today I have a really serious job to tell you about the library law and about the public library's new functions and amendments in the library law. I will try to do it short and sweet. And I would have to say that main area of libraries, it is kind of very strictly regulated in our law, and our basic is library law, but there are also different kind of legal documents that, and what I want to highlight, that we really waited for the amendments of library law, just because the library law was issued in the 1999, and the large amendments were never done in this law. The latest important amendments were in 2022, when we introduced 19th part that is connected with European law about the irregulation of cultural values. Since then, no amendments were made. I would also want to give you more information on how the library sector is regulated. Basically, there in other sectors, there are not so much the rules of Ministry of Cabinets. There are like 10 norms of Ministry of Cabinets, and they also haven't been changed a lot during the time. So we will try to look them through and find what changes need to be done. We believe that the actualization is needed in this sector. So more or less a year and a half ago, we created a working group with one aim to make more modern those regulations. And especially since there is a law that we have to do it until 2027. And shortly about what we have planned in the regulations, in the official regulations, and then we will talk about functions. So it is planned, as you can see on the left, that those regulations that are on different kind of areas, they will stay as they are. They will made actualized, but they will stay as the separate documents, as the regulations. But those on the right, you see the regulations regarding on the number of employees necessary for the work in library and necessary education. Also regulations regarding operation of official local level library network. We plan to make them in one, to combine them, and this way also making it less peculiar, but more in not that to get a less bureaucracy in this area. So we plan to make those regulations together, and there will be one regulation on the operation of the Latvian library network. But those two that are crossed on the slide, we plan to delete and stop their work, because norms of the material and technical basis of libraries, there are a lot of details connected with construction that since year 2000 have not been changed and adapted, but have changed actually a lot. There is information how the premises of the library should look like. But we understand that not everybody can make it true. So what's the reason to have the regulations if we cannot fulfill them in life? But the good thing is also that there are a lot of good things. So we want to add a lot of good things. So we think that of the norms of the material and technical basis of libraries, there will be like guidelines for the library workers. Like, for example, guidelines how you should make the premises work, which kind of shelves to buy, which kind of furniture you need for the library. And second regulation is which we want to stop working is the regulations on the financing necessary for library activities. In library law, that is stated that those who establish library need to finance that. But this regulation regulates on which kind of amount this needs to be done. But many years have passed and we have not updated this regulation, and they are actually not working in this year that we live now. And it wouldn't be quite needed to change it and update at the moment, because we understand that our economic situation changing, then we will need to change them again. So that's why we decided just to deal them, and we'll just trust those who established library that they will finance the library, giving the necessary amounts of finance. So let's now talk about library law. And all I can just agree to what Alexander's already said. It's not, of course, it's understandable that the role of library is changing in the modern society. And we have talked about the importance of library for quite some time now, and we understand that the role has changed. And what we also just keep repeating and repeating, that library is not just a place for the books. It's true. It's true that libraries are for sure not just the storage place of the books. It's not just a place where you go to read a book. It's already like a bridge between education and a person, a bridge between the past and today. And it's also connected with the development of digitalization, also the changes of communities' needs, and also library role is being influenced by socio-economic aspects, making like libraries as important centers for support. So it is planned that in the library law, at the moment, it is stated the library performs only two functions, but our idea is to say that library performs these basic functions. So, but they will be together, not two, but five basic functions, and then there will be two additional functions, particularly in the municipality libraries. And working with the colleagues and also in the working groups and talking with experts who are experts in the library sector, turns out that these functions that we add now in the library law, the new functions, actually, it will just state in the law the things that libraries already do, and we make the amendments in the library law kind of already like a bit late, but so now all the functions of libraries will be like legal, you can say. So these are two nowadays basic functions, which is cultural heritage of the world, keeping the cultural heritage of the world, and also ensuring public access to the library collections. So these are basics, and then we will have two more, which will be the first. The first will be promoting reading in society, as well as media and information literacy. Libraries already do that, already promote reading, they promote books, promote understanding of literature, of reading, and they already promote the understanding of media and consult about the information, how to trust the information. They already make different kind of information days as well, and organize different reading events. And libraries also give an opportunity to develop your critical thinking, to understand which is not information to trust and how to use information trustfully and responsibly. So next two functions, library really is important in building democratic society, and actually democracy is based on very smart people, and library gives for free availability to access information, and this gives for people availability to understand and to also participate in the discussions. Libraries make these kind of events where people can learn about what is happening in the society and also give their own opinion, and this way we make our democratic society stronger. These kind of events also facilitate cooperation and getting to know each other. Libraries for free are available to anybody. Doesn't matter your age, your sex, your educational level, your financial income level, or your ethnic background. In this way, libraries facilitate equal opportunities to all people and also facilitate inclusiveness, which is really important. So it means that anybody can come to the library, and use the different what's available in the libraries. And this also helps to make us more socially equally and give everybody the sense of belonging to the society. Also, libraries big help to the newcomers, to the refugees. This is the help for them how to integrate in the society, which is also an important part of this conference today. So libraries will be also available for people with mobility issues. So that's why libraries need to give technologies, and in general, there needs to be mobility issues thought through so that everybody can get into the library. Library also gives like a space which is neutral, where you can educate yourself, but also express your opinion or just be together with others. Libraries really give a big support and like a practical support in using different kind of electronic resources, including governmental services that are available electronically, and also to learn about using computers. To use all those services, for sure you need to have skills, and libraries can give you these skills, can educate citizens. Also, libraries can make us all more digitally equal to help those who don't have, for example, computers, internet at home. And of course, libraries also help to decrease the social area. So if we talk about also education, and libraries also help to ensure that you have resources for lifelong learning. And there are also different kind of events for kids, for also for families with kids, for seniors. This way we connect together different ages. And here we have two more additional functions that are for municipal libraries only. And here we also include the words of cultural heritage. So they will also be promoting and helping to make stronger your identity and sense of belonging, and to understand the importance of local culture, local like historical events that make all our joint identity. Libraries are collecting all the information about cultural heritage through different kind of letters, different kind of books. They really keep safe all kind of documents that are not available in other areas. And talking about the new functions of the library and putting them in the law, it is very, very important to understand how libraries can very nicely be flexible and see what society needs at the moment. And libraries are really important and for the development of our society and the resilience of our society. Thank you for being for the opportunity to be here and talk here and have a really nice and inspiring event and 2 days.
Thank you, Katrina, for the presentation. Could you stay for a couple of minutes more? Maybe we have some questions or remarks in the audience. Maybe someone wants to ask. While we are still thinking, I still have a question to you. You mentioned that on one hand, the new law and the guidelines sort of legitimize existing things. But does it mean that the new legal acts will not change the everyday life in libraries, or it changes. I believe that everyday life will change in the good direction, because maybe not all the library founders have the same understanding of the significance of libraries. But today, when we do something more than the law permits, founders can look to you in the way that it's not your task, it's not your duty, and we do not want to finance this kind of activities. And this would become the backbone for libraries, that we do it, we want to do it, and that is very important. Thank you, Katrina. So we have a question. Hello, everyone. I would like to ask about the cultural heritage. It's topical for me. I'm from Ardava Manor. We are located near the library, and I'm very interested in this aspect, in this new added function. Why I'm asking this question? Because the library is next to us, it's a very significant resource, and we're trying to cooperate, but there's just one person part-time working in the library. Are there any human resources or experience exchange with the National Library or other libraries foreseen in order to strengthen this question, this function? They actually do it already, but now we could have a great potential for the library to become more useful, resource for the community. Thank you. Thank you for the question. I need to say that actually, yes, National Library and main regional libraries actually are already doing things in this direction. We have different seminars and meetings. The National Library of Latvia, I think they have already developed cultural studies guidelines, but if we speak about human resources, I need to say that unfortunately I have no power to make decisions on this. It depends only on the library founder, on the municipality. From the ministry side, human resources is not our aspect. But you need to go to the founder. Yeah. Thank you for the question. So the libraries, we know, are a very important resource for information. And if we speak about citizenship, and I'm an active person in this field, I would like to say that when new guidelines are issued or cabinet regulations arrive, we have a very nice portal, a tab portal, where all the changes in legislation can be seen, can be commented, give your feedback, and then the main ministries, the responsible ministries, they need to take those things into account and respond to them. So I'm asking you also to follow. We are continuing with our conference, and we will start addressing the topic of newcomers. And in the next block, we will speak about Ukrainian people in our country and their needs. And that is important not only for Latvia, but also for wider society. And I give floor to Irina Bondarchuk, psychologist from Ukraine who works at Kekava Municipality Social Service and is active representative of Ukrainian community in Kekava. Irina, the floor is yours. While we are waiting, I can share also and tell you about that many things we are discussing here. This project and this kind of conference is just one kind of frameworks, but within the European Union, we sometimes have different projects, the international cooperation projects, and one of the upcoming presentations will be about this international cooperation project named LIBRI, where Latvia is also participating. And one of the aims of such projects is not to just look at one country, its context, but also to get some information, experience from other regions, other countries. And thus, Irina, you are ready. So we are welcoming Irina with warm applause. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, but I will not have a presentation. But this is the situation today. So library is not just a place where you keep books. It's a place where you keep the whole soul of a community. Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Irina, and I represent Kekava Ukrainian community. And today we comprise around 450 people. When we arrived to Latvia, to be honest, we did not expect that a library can be such a living organism. For us Ukrainians, it was, to put it mildly, shock, a good shock. Kekava and Baloži libraries, those are not just buildings. They are places of power, places that heal. Here we have different integration, cultural, educational, and creative events. Here we can receive resources and support. Here we have people who become your mentors and your friends. In Baloži Library, we have Ukrainian bookshelf. That 3 times a year, a Ukrainian embassy in Latvia gives additional books for this bookshelf. For kids, for teenagers, and for adults, we have a Latvian conversation club. We also have a support group for parents who have kids with special needs, as well as different lectures and seminars with experts. During the first month after we arrived, people came to the library to get the most important things, to use internet, to print documents, and of course to meet other people. Later, they stayed here for their soul, for meetings, clubs with books. The most active readers from Ukrainian diaspora in Baloži Library, they received also dictionaries of Latvian language as a gift. It was very symbolic. Learn, read, we are together with you. I have several sons. And after school, every time they run. They don't run back home, but to the library. I usually joke, most probably it's a honeypot. But no, this is a place with friends, books, games, sweets, and conversations. When I was a child, a library library had a poster, keep silent. But here the life goes on. And I'm happy that my children can come to such a place, rich in resources, safe and modern. I think that the main riches of libraries, it's not buildings and even not books. Those are people, of course, people who work there. Their openness, readiness to explain, to support, and smile. That is the key for integration. Because people, they remember not a catalogue, but the warmth in your attitude. Our experience shows that the library became a source of trust and resources for Ukrainians. It's a space where we have language practice, where we socialize, and we have cultural dialogue. It's an environment that ensures correct communication, community, and hope. I dream that every library in the world would be not only about books, but also about people, meetings, and life. Because library is a place where newcomers stop being refugees and they become inhabitants of a community. Thank you for your attention. And I invite you to Kekovo or Baloži. There you can not only read books, but also find friends. And also and not only, but really also some sweet things. Thank you. Thank you. I believe that was very touching and a nice story about what library space can do. I really liked the final words you said, that the library has become the place where to meet, because at first people came there to get some internet or print some documents, but afterwards it turned out that the life goes on there. Thank you, Elena. We will have also possibility to ask questions to Irina, but that will be after the next speaker.
And I would like to invite here to the place a representative from Rēzekne Social Services, so the Gunārs Arbidāns and Linda Molotsova. And Linda also within her master paper has done some research on Ukrainian people here living in Rēzekne and their needs. Please, Linda.
Hello, everybody. We are locals. I am Gunārs. I'm the head of the social services in Rēzekne. And Linda, she's a social worker. While she's just preparing for the preparation, I will say some introductory words. So, if library is already a place for communities where to integrate, where to spend time, where to learn and educate yourself, learn about the history, about the local history, etc. Then social services are the beginning of the road for integration, like the point where everything starts. And in Rēzekne, we practice it like this, that firstly, social services welcome the newcomers, those who intend to stay here for longer, who need financial help or different other social help. And we are also those who give information and tell where you can go further with what problems we have, what issues and challenges, speaking from the point of view of social services, that Linda will tell more. Hello, I'm social worker practitioner Linda Molotsova. once again. This year I completed my master's studies at Riga Technical University in Liepāja Academy. On a daily basis, I work as a social worker. During the preparation of my master's thesis, I conducted research on how the integration of Ukrainian civilians is taking place in the Rēzekne municipality and which factors promote this process. And today I would like to present the main results of the study. It was conducted from October 2024 to February 2025. The aim of the study was to evaluate the dynamics of the number of Ukrainian civilians in Rēzekne since the beginning of the war in 2022, the challenges faced by the municipality and the social service in the integration process, and also the existing support mechanisms and their effectiveness. The study included 82 Ukrainian civilians who, following the start of the war in Ukraine, have chosen to seek refuge in Latvia, specifically in the city of Rēzekne. This proportionality affects the direction of support and integration measures, for example, social assistance to families with children, emotional support, or in the context of families' needs. The age distribution indicates that the most actively represented group were people aged from 31 to 40 years, which is the working age population. This age range is the most socially and economically active stage of life, highlighting the need for appropriate employment opportunities to promote integration both in economic and social life. A significant number of residents were also in the age group between 41 to 50 years, 22%. Analyzing the length of residence in Latvia based on the respondents' answers, it is evident that almost half, 48.8%, have lived in Rēzekne for 3 years, while 37.8% have lived there for 2 years, indicating a fairly stable integration in the local community. 65.9% of respondents live with their families, which highlights the importance of family cohesion in the integration process. It has a large importance, while 14.6% live alone. The presence, as the author Barry have told, the presence of family positively influences emotional well-being and social involvement. Education and professional skills. The majority of respondents have higher education, revealing a high potential of human resources. 25.3% have obtained vocational technical education. These data indicate a high level of human capital, which theoretically could facilitate faster integration into the labor market. However, in practice, the integration process is hindered by language skill deficiencies and problems with recognition of qualifications. Children's integration in the education system, there it is especially important to pay attention to the integration of children into the education system. A large portion of respondents' children study both in Latvian schools and remotely in Ukrainian educational schools. This creates a double burden for the kids. So bilingualism, intercultural competence and risks, emotional stress, adaptation difficulties. And it indicates partial integration and the need for targeted inclusion of children in society. Assessment of living conditions, housing, access to services, etc. The majority generally evaluate their living conditions positively. 73.5% were satisfied, while only a small number, 3.6%, were dissatisfied. This indicates a relatively good support provided by the municipality and society. However, 3.6% of respondents expressed significant dissatisfaction, most often related to housing availability and quality of living conditions. Information accessibility and social support. 45.1% of respondents consider the availability of information to be sufficient. This indicates that communication channels are working effectively. However, nearly half, 47.6%, noted that finding information was difficult, which points out to the communication gaps and the need for improved information dissemination. It is also important to emphasize that 75.6% of respondents have received the necessary social support, which indicates good work by the social services. There remain ongoing needs for language and professional courses, access to healthcare and employment opportunities, legal services, and increased financial support. Residents also highlighted the lack of cultural events and excursions where Ukrainians, both children and adults, can communicate and socialize with each other. Ukrainian residents emphasized that the connection between Ukrainians and Latvians is improving, but the connection among Ukrainians themselves is weakening. This is especially true for children. Ukrainian mothers raising children on their own emphasize that they need help finding employment. Jobs are available but not always suitable, as it is difficult to find work while caring for small children. The child attends kindergarten but often falls ill. These mothers would like to have at least part-time work to be able to combine employment with childcare. Most of those with children do not have anyone to leave them with when they are sick, and they cannot afford to pay for babysitting services. Respondents indicate that language courses are needed for both children and adults, preferably scheduled after 5 p.m., along with support for children and learning materials. Because there are those who work and they would like those courses to have in the evenings. So that's why Ukrainian civilians also wish for separate classes in schools to learn the state language and for teaching assistants to help students better understand the curriculum. The attitude of local residents is very important. Public attitude is one of the most critical factors in the refugee integration. 51.2% of respondents consider the attitude of local residents to be positive, while 34.1% evaluate it as neutral. Language skills and motivation. Language proficiency is an essential prerequisite for social integration. The study results show that more than half of the respondents consider their Latvian language skills insufficient, while 28% do not know Latvian at all. A positive aspect is that 58.6% are motivated to learn the Latvian language. This indicates refugees' willingness to integrate and the need to continue providing more language training programs in the future. Psychological adaptation is just as important as emotional health issues. Yet only 26.8% of respondents acknowledge regularly receiving psychological support. More than half of the participants would like additional emotional psychological support. This indicates a need to strengthen psychosocial assistance, especially considering the traumatic experiences many Ukrainian civilians have endured. Several Ukrainian civilians emphasize that their children face poor treatment at school, both from peers and teachers. They experience pressure and problems caused by the school, as well as financial burdens on the sole working parent. Children are referred to specialists for limited time periods, and parents often have to pay for medical visits. Ukrainian civilians believe that discussions should be held with teachers in kindergartens and schools about children from other countries. It is important to explain to teachers that these children face greater challenges integrating into society, have difficulty learning material in Latvian, and struggle to complete homework, especially if Latvian is not the parent's native language. Based on the respondents' answers, the main integration challenges are limited job opportunities, especially for qualified specialists. Without knowledge of the state language, it is difficult to find work. Language barrier. It is challenging to help children with their studies if one does not know the language. Ukrainian civilians also emphasize that they have no opportunity to practice Latvian, because upon hearing an accent, people often switch to Russian. Problems with housing availability. People are reluctant to rent housing to Ukrainians. Financial difficulties. They highlight that medical services are expensive, medicines are very costly, and there are long waiting times for medical examinations. They also express a desire for greater material assistance. Respondents' suggestions for improving integration: more accessible and intensive Latvian language courses, broader availability of job opportunities, especially for highly qualified professions. Ukrainian civilians want employers to offer jobs without requiring language skills initially. Cultural and social activities for children and adults. Organize various joint events for communication, getting to know each other, and social inclusion. Occasionally screen movies and cartoons in Ukrainian at cinemas. Expansion of psychological support programs. A positive assessment of the overall integration process in Rēzekne was given by 68.3% of respondents. This reflects both the refugees' ability to adapt and the successful work of the municipality and non-governmental organizations. This figure confirms the efforts made by the municipality and society, while also indicating areas where improvements are needed. Then we also did with different NGOs and different other municipality social services, focus groups, and they also emphasized that Ukrainian civilians have language barrier, lack of motivation, community isolation, difference between refugees and the diaspora, insufficient awareness of the information, emotional trauma, and psycho-emotional support. These are the factors promoting the integration of Ukrainian civilians. Availability of social services. Municipalities and NGOs offer various support measures like language courses, social consultations, psychological assistance that significantly ease the integration process. They mention also volunteer work. Ukrainian civilians actively participate. Cultural and social activities, organizing joint events, and language learning groups. Main challenges, as in other municipalities, and we also have like a language barrier. Ukrainians also mention lack of trust, their trust. Firstly, when they came to Latvia, they wanted to hide their information, and only with time we learned the true. Insufficient housing resources, often they need to find themselves. The housing, lack of motivation for integration, because they don't want to learn the state language, don't want to work. They haven't decided if they will stay here in Latvia or will go back. Unstable project funding. Projects are often very short-term and create uncertainty for both staff and clients. Overlap of project activities. Various initiatives sometimes duplicate efforts, causing overload and fatigue among Ukrainian civilians. And recommendations for improving. So the participants suggested active learning of Latvian language, mandatory education for children in Latvian schools, experience exchange programs for social workers to improve work in social area, expansion of psychological support, especially for children and those that have larger trauma, and effective communication. We need to give very clear and simple information using multiple channels, printed materials, online platforms, informative videos. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much, Linda. Maybe you can stay here for a bit. Maybe somebody has a question in the audience. Here is a question. I have a technical question. Do you have available online the results of your research? And Linda answers that only on the university webpage. Which university? Liepāja Academy, Riga Technical University. But I have one question to you. You have mentioned the word isolation and showed the result that almost 14% here in Rēzekne are feeling alone and lonely. And if we bridge to our conference topic, what could be the activities or the things that library could do to make the isolation less? Well, if they would go to library, they would have the opportunity to talk to each other. We also have the books in Ukrainian language. For example, children would be nice to have a book where one page is in Ukrainian, the other in Latvian. Also, seniors, I think, that would love to go to the library to educate themselves and to read the books. The situation is getting better. For example, during summer, we had Latvian language courses. Ukrainian Association helped, and they made like courses for children to learn the Latvian language. I think that everything is getting better slowly. Thank you so much. We have another question in the audience. Thank you so much. It's not kind of a question, but it's like a comment. Using the opportunity that we are not too large here, we will have a coffee break, an opportunity to talk to each other. I would really like to emphasize this organization, Druzi, the Ukrainian NGO, that you can definitely talk to them. As the previous talker mentioned, that in Latvian and I think there are like 14 NGOs that have gave the job to Ukrainian civilians. It's really important to include them in the discussion because they want to help themselves and they need to be part of Latvian community. I really encourage you to talk to them during the coffee break and ask questions. Thank you so much for the comment. And my comment about the person who told this, she is Linda, and she has for a long time been the head of the NGO Want to Help Refugees, Gribu palīdzēt bēgļiem. She definitely has a lot of answers to many questions in this sphere and sector. But before the coffee break, we have one more presentation, one more speaker. And I will invite Agrita Sagalaeva. She's Cultural Information Systems Center representative, and she will talk about European Union project that we have talked about previously, Library Bridges, promoting the integration and inclusion of third country nationals in Europe through libraries and local partnerships. Please.
So, hello everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today in this meeting, this conference. Thank you once again for organizing and Rēzekne for the hospitality, for welcoming us. And I believe that our project fits very well to the topic of today's conference. We also speak about integration. So here you can see the visuals of the project, the logo, Libri, which comes from the library bridges. In full, the project is Library Bridges, promoting the integration and inclusion of third country nationals in Europe through libraries and the local partnerships. First of all, I would like to stress that this is the project funded by the European Union. It's an international project. And here we have Cultural Information Systems Center for 2 years. We have cooperated cooperated with 4 other European countries. These are France, Italy, Poland, and Romania. And of course, Latvia. So what we do, what is the aim of the project? So on this slide, I have included the information from the brochure. Those brochures are available outside this room. And if you're interested, you can take them and check. Here we have the time scale, what we do during every period, what are the offers, the goals of the project. And the main goal of the project is to develop the strategy, its integration, and what we mean by this. As I mentioned previously, the key word is integration of third country nationals in the local community. And within this integration plan, we have included all the complex what libraries in cooperation with their partners plan to do in order to improve this integration process and to promote it. Because the very basis, the function of libraries is already included, and the libraries who participated in the project, they have experience in integration work, and that helps us a lot because this experience is very useful and interesting. And the partnership of 10 public libraries, it covers the whole country of Latvia and includes all the regions from Kurzeme to Latgali. And I believe that that's very good because we can think that the situation in Latvia is identical in the whole country. It's a small country, the situation is the same everywhere, but the situation is not the same. Because, for instance, in Daugavpils, it's different from the situation in Saldus or in Liepāja. So this is why the project was focused on 10 strategies. Every library, together with the partners, develop their own strategy. And here we can see the partnership as I show them in different circles, and the library is in the center in green color. It is the main axis that the project dwells upon, together with municipalities and integration organizations. Why the library is in the center of this project? Libraries as space, as environment, it ensures good, favorable conditions for every member of our society, for every newcomer to our community. And libraries, library funds are a wonderful resource to promote integration. And on the basis of this, we've developed new services. On this slide, you can see the partnership within our project. As I mentioned, 10. Here we can see just 9, so it's moved down a bit. So we have Jēkabpils, Jelgava, Latgales Central Library, Liepāja, Ogde, Rēzekne, Salaspils, Saldus, Sigulda, and somehow we don't see Ventspils Library. In total, we have 10 municipal libraries participating, and also organizations representing municipalities, and also integration organizations. These are societies, or depending on the local situation, Society Integration Foundation, that is very good partner for us. We also see here the Society Druze, that is very active player in Rēzekne in the field of integration. So all these institutions and their joint work ensures the integration within our project. And the main tasks, so that it's easier to understand how we proceed. Here I've shown some steps what we've done. So we've conducted the diagnostics of the local situation. It was very close to what we just heard from the previous speaker. This is an overview of the local community and newcomers to the community and their numbers, their satisfaction level, what they do, where they live, what is their means for living. We've gathered all the data. It was quite a challenging work because sometimes, as we know, data can be sensitive and not all the organizations are ready to share those data. Several libraries had this quite challenge. But we managed to finish the work, and based on the local diagnostic results, we are also going towards the development of the strategy. Of course, this means cooperation with local partners and taking into consideration the specifics of local communities. Here I would like to speak a bit about the stage of implementation of the project. It was a hackathon, it's something new. I don't know how many of you have participated or organized hackathons. It was the first time for me. I was very worried at the beginning because the audience was very unpredictable. We don't know each other. We don't know who would come from the refugee side, from the side of other partners. So it was a bit risky, but it turned out to be a very interesting and fruitful event, because when people came together from totally different audiences, very nice ideas, very good ideas were created. So the hackathons were actually a very good idea, and it has already been done. In total, we had 5 hackathons. 3 were individual and 2 were regional ones. Ventspils library organized this hackathon in Kurzeme, and we had also a Vidzeme hackathon. So this part is already finished, and I have included some pictures, because during hackathons we have created new interesting ideas, and I have indicated 4 main directions. They are more or less similar to all the libraries, but still the main accents, they shift from library to library, and that is good. As it has been said today for several times, the problem number 1 is language, and this is what we addressed several times during our hackathons. We have developed several interesting ways how people could communicate in non-formal surroundings, because libraries do not organize language courses. It's not our function. We do it in a different way. And then we found different ideas how to do this work, how to involve more people, and how to get greater coverage and higher efficiency for this work. Afterwards, the next steps will be sharing the experience, sharing the best practices. We have LinkedIn project community, where we have all the 5 partner countries involved. The main goal of this community is to gather and share information, organize webinars on different themes. And this is also the invitation to libraries to also participate in these events, because libraries have a lot of things to say about these topics. We have very good experience, and quite often we sometimes even don't know what other libraries do. And when we come together and put all this information together, only then we can assess and evaluate how colorful this picture is and how much we can learn from each other. So the expected results, these different methodological materials, exchange of the best practices, and also putting methodology and strategies on a special platform. So partnership manual. Within this project, we have created such a document as partnership manual that I also believe to be very good, because in this document we have not only theoretical information, theoretical part. Now this theoretical practice is already gathered, but the next stage for this manual is that we are going to include as a best practice examples from all the participating libraries. So as a result, this manual would become very good support for people who work in this field, because it has both theoretical basis and also practical examples. As in all the projects, also in this one we will have training regarding all the stages of project implementation, just as I mentioned, diagnostic strategy development, hackathons, and also sustainability of the project results. We speak also about the publicity within the project, and we work a lot to disseminate about the project. And at the end of the August this year, we had the annual IFLA Congress. As you know, this is the biggest forum of libraries that takes place every year. And this year also our project was shown together with all the other partners. We heard the name of Latvia. Then we also ensure publicity within a local level when all the libraries publish different social media posts, information on their web pages. Also in Cultural Information Systems Center, we have created a separate section for the project where we add all the actual and future activities within the project. So so in short, it would be all I wanted to tell you. Maybe you have any questions? Thank you. Maybe you could stay for a couple of minutes. Maybe there are questions. So if you don't have any questions, so I still have a question before we go for a coffee break. One of the things you mentioned during the presentation, one of the goals is to share information, and you show this LinkedIn platform where it could be done. But from your own perspective, your own viewpoint, what is the best and the biggest new discovery apart from this language question that we already addressed? The most surprising and good part that I already mentioned a bit, we have understood that the partnership is very good. And before that, we didn't know about it before we started working on this project. We just assumed that the partnership could be good, but while we were working, we understood and appreciated how good this partnership has developed. Thank you, Agrita. I believe that it's wonderful and inspiring to hear that taking into account that libraries need to work more with communities. When we look from the library project viewpoint, libraries also can become part of communities and community centers and participate in different projects.
And now during the break, I was thinking about one of my close to my heart authors, the most important in the American psychotherapist, Carl Roger. In one of his books, he says that one of the basic things of the person that so that we can be valuable for the society is to be open to the change and be adaptable. It's also, we can say that it gives to the speaks to the second part of the conference. We're starting a bit later than we planned, but this is also the way how we can train our adaptability to the change. And one of the things that we would like to start the conference's second part is something that we haven't seen in the first part of the conference. We had Irinas Bondarchukas presentation from Kekava and Balozh Library, but Irina also would love to show us some presentation slides that we can only not remember her story from the words, but also see some of the pictures. Please, Irina, we give floor to you. We want to present you a good mood, a mood of the presentation. So, as I said, library is not just a book. We know this for sure now. We really like our district, Kekava district. There lives 450 Ukrainians. Library is as the place of power, of strength, a place of strength. And we have a lot of Ukrainian books there in the Kekava district library. Of course, people is the most important where you work. The first months were hard, but step by step, and now everybody happy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, as she mentioned, library is a place where refugees become the part of community, and this is really something inspirational as the live example from Latvia. But conference second part is the place where we're going to focus on the experience of libraries. And on the second part, we will have two panel discussions. But they will be in non-traditional form, where each panel discussion participant will share their story, their presentation. And after that, all of those, when we have heard all these stories, we will discuss a little bit about the topics they talked about. Well, and as the first one, first panel discussion, it is about informal language learning, language cafes, language clubs, etc., other initiatives that help people to meet, to learn language in the very good environment. So I invite firstly to these chairs and then to these chairs. Anni Piits-Jannik, Tartu City Library representative from Estonia. Igete Gredzene from Salaspils Municipality Library. And also Lina Lukīte from Akmene District Municipality Public Library in Lithuania. She is the head of the library. So, Anni, the floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I work in Tartu Public Library. Actually, a library has a main building and 4 branches, and I work for Annalinna branch. And today I speak about Estonian language cafes, which we are organizing there. Otherwise, in other branches, there are also French library and German and English library. I mean, English coffee and German language coffee, but yes. So it started in the main library, a main building in 2017. It was a pilot project together with University of Tartu. There were a group of Swedish Estonians coming, and then they wanted to have such language cafe. There were also volunteers from Tartu International House. They are otherwise dealing with newcomers, helping them to get around. And so this was only in August, but then in September same year, they decided in library that they will continue this format of Estonian cafes, and 3 organizers were doing this. It was once or twice per month, and participants were 5 to 15. How it happened. Usually they were local Russians, but also newcomers from Russia, Ukraine, Syria, and other Middle East countries. Generally middle-aged and retired people, plus students and scholars from Tartu University. And this by now, I'm also having language coffees, and now there are more Ukrainians normally, but also newly coming Russians, and what is maybe from this autumn new is that also pupils from schools, they are asking if they can come for language coffee, because our schools are turning to only Estonian language schools. So before we had Russian language schools and Estonian language schools, but now they are all turning to Estonian language. So there are a lot of kids who would need to get used to or be more like at home with Estonian. So the reasons why they started, was this good cooperation, and then still there was this ongoing refugee crisis, a little bit still could feel this, and actually one of the organizers was just finished her study of how to teach Estonian language for foreigners. So it was her personal interest to see how to put theory to practice. So, and after that, we have had some collaboration with Integration Foundation. They are otherwise dealing with those permanent residents of Estonian with other nationalities and other home language, and also new immigrants and compatriots living outside Estonia and people returning to Estonia. So all these groups, so they are making different language courses for different levels, and also promoting this language cafe format, especially for librarians. So we had this workshop, Language Cafe Methodological Day, on December 2022 in our library, only for our workers, like 10 to 15 participants, and it was such whole day workshop. And we were trying out some exercises and doing some interactive games, but also we got this methodological guide, which have been very useful for me. Actually, I think without this guide, I wouldn't start to organize those. Here, actually, it's can open it. It can be found in internet. It's all in Estonian, so you won't understand a lot. But generally, first says what is a language cafe and what it's not, and how it differs from just ordinary language course or cultural club or something else, and how to organize the space where it should be that people would feel safe to speak, and all these tricks and tips. And then additionally, it includes some warm-up exercises, let's say how to remember everybody's name, how everybody would get together and know each other, and also some other warm-up exercises, and then main exercises and wrap-up exercises. And in the end, actually, these have been also very useful. There are like ready-made program of different subjects. Like, okay, in the end, there are quite some ready-made programs already in different subjects, like pets, family, friends, hobbies. So then there you see like how many exercises you should maybe prepare. And no, you can just use the same thing or remake it for a little bit to some other subject. So this have been very useful, yeah. So there are like ideas, and then you can turn it to another subject and a little bit change and it's like, okay, now you can put back this. Oh, super, thank you. Nee. Okay, then after having this nice workshop, then I decided in autumn that I will also organize in Annelinn one language cafe. And actually my first idea was that every branch could have once in a month a language cafe that altogether would have like every week once. But okay, this didn't happen. But we still have in Annelinn this happening, this language cafe. And yeah, Annelinn is such a multicultural district, so this was also one reason why I thought it would fit there. No, in a way, yeah, it works. And then we had another cooperation with Integration Foundation. They were founding one language cafe, which was in Annelinn, in my branch. And then every week, once a week, was this event. We were four who were organizing this, but in a way, it was all nice. They gave some additional money, but they had also some conditions which we didn't really like this participant list was closed already after first meeting, so those who found maybe that it didn't suit them or in a way was too easy or too difficult, those couldn't then say that they cannot come. And in the same time, if you already enroll, then they had such rule that 5 years, then you shouldn't come to their organized language cafes, which didn't suit to a library. We always want to gather people that they would come. And I think half a year for one language learner is also maybe not enough to be free in speaking one language. Okay, and this, what we do, methods, it's normally this pair work and group work, and depends how many people are coming. This, you never know if comes 15 or 5 or maybe only 3. And then we use different games. Dixie cards are very nice. Memory, alias. Music, videos, all things, yeah, you can give some photos and pictorial material that would make them speak more. And also very nice is to make things together, like cooking on planting seeds or visiting botanical garden or some exhibition or such possibilities are also, but I have to admit that in Annelinn we are a little bit more far from center, so this going out is I didn't do yet, so maybe once. Yeah, this is generally all from me. Thank you.
Have questions afterwards for you. And tagad mēs turpināsim mūsu tādu
So we will continue with a short overview of Baltic countries. So we started with Estonia, now we are going to Latvia. And I invite Igita Gradzena from Salaspils to share their experience here in Latvia. Good afternoon, dear guests of the conference, my colleagues, librarians, and everyone who is involved in this wonderful and important work. My story today is about not about Ukrainian civilians, but about those who live next to us, the community that is well known, but at the same time very foreign. I need to say that in Salaspils, it gained city rights several years ago, but the city is very, very old. I will not tell you the whole history, don't worry, but I would like to put one point in perspective in the life of Salaspils municipality that changed its city environment and its inhabitant contents. It's 1960s and early 1970s when Riga hydroelectric plant was built. Of course, there was a lot of manpower required and people were brought in from the Soviet Union. It not only increased Salaspils as a city, and also this plant flooded many buildings. With the building of the plant, so I would say that many people came from the other regions, Russians, Ukrainians, Belarus, and these inhabitants, they felt very comfortable in their own environment until the moment when, well, part of them learned Latvian. It's mostly the young generation, but then the country decided that citizens from the third countries, Russian citizens, they need to pass the exam in the Latvian language. And here we came across with difficulties. Salaspils municipality organized courses of the Latvian language. A library provided premises, and these courses took place. In parallel, we see how this happens. We see those people, these elderly people, and we understood that this is a niche where we can help them. We can help them to speak Latvian. We spoke to them, we addressed them if they wanted to have, in addition to the Latvian language courses that are managed and led by a professional teacher, would you like to participate in a conversation club where you could practice without any fear, with librarian support, you could practice speaking Latvian? So we had quite a good answer. It was 15 people, and then at the end it turned out to be 10 people. We spoke about different topics that are needed in everyday life. Hospital, dentist, library, shop. But since this language club started in January 2024, we met once a week. We started to increase the number of subjects, of topics. And then we understood that there are so many white spots. Many blind spots in the knowledge about Latvia, about Salaspils, and with the help of this language club, we can help them. Even if the second part of their life. We can introduce them to Salaspils, to its culture, its history, and to show that not everything started only with the building of the power plant and the arrival to Salaspils. Since we already had created very nice atmosphere, so we had fruitful conversations. It's not just the librarians create a story. So in this case, everyone had to participate. They had to look for information. They had to speak to their children, grandchildren, and involve also their family in these tasks. So this is also very nice work because their language knowledge improved slowly, but it improved. And another benefit is that we have gained loyal people, people who are loyal to our library. And when we created the story about Salaspils, we gathered also their stories about how they arrived to Latvia. And I hope that we will not make the same mistake when thinking about Ukrainians. We should not wait for 30 years, and we should do it already now. And now we are organizing our own club for Ukrainians, and this experience of the third country residents helps us. Of course, this club will be a bit different. This is very short, emotional experience. I also value the Estonian experience, and I believe that Lithuanians also will give us a nice experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Igita. Thank you for those words. Yeah, that we are. You said that we have to start now. Let's not wait. And we are gonna also listen to the story from Lithuania, from Akmenė District Municipality Public Library. Lina, please.
So I will talk about how culture connects, and I will pay attention to our work with Ukrainian children. Before that, I would like, I will introduce you a bit where I'm from. So Akmenė District Municipality is in Šiauliai County, and our district has around 20,000 citizens. Our center of district, Naujoji Akmenė, has around 8,000 citizens, and we have 528 foreign residents. So when we talk about Ukrainian children, we have around 115, and here you can see how many there are in the schools. Some things to note. When the war began, in our municipality started work a specialist who is responsible for the integration of foreigners. We have 13 doctors in our hospital. We have psychologist who is Ukrainian, and she can speak Lithuanian language and Ukrainian language. The biggest challenges faced by Ukrainian are lack of Lithuanian language skills, limited job opportunities, and some of newcomers lack of motivation to work. A bit about our library. Here you can see our central library. We have 13 branches and one more opening this year. I am very happy to say that our library, as yours, we are a vibrant community hubs, not a library just for the books. And there are some main directions that we are going: media information literacy, and as well we want to promote library for everyone. Specifically our library pay attention to sustainability and of course emotional health. So a bit what we do for integration as a library. Actually, we did a lot at the beginning of the war, and especially we worked a lot with children. For instance, we organized Friends Day afternoons. There we danced, had various games, quizzes about Ukraine and Lithuania, as well as we had sessions, reading sessions in Lithuanian language. Still we have it. And actually the most popular activity in our library is playing computer games. And still it's very popular, and the main task for our librarians there to teach Ukrainian children Lithuanian keyboard and Lithuanian alphabet, that we can be fully integrated. And on one hand, this maybe it's like funny, but actually for them it's the most important thing, because as I mentioned before, playing computer games are still very popular. And what we have now, we have one rule. If you want to play computer games every 1 hour, you have to have a break. During the break, you have to read a book. Reading a book is not the most popular thing, but still we are reading, and we still improve. We still can improve the reading skills in Lithuanian language. As well, we had actually many excursions for Ukrainian children and Lithuanian children, as well as you can see in the photos. We had drawing sessions and to do a conclusion, I would say that they are fully integrated into our library community. We can speak Lithuanian language fluently, and actually all activities have become a natural part of our routine, our daily work. And the most interesting thing that we are going to do next year is art festival for Ukrainian and Lithuanian families. And what is unique, that the festival concept is adapted to meet the needs of Ukrainian families. We invited a few very active Ukrainian mothers, of course Ukrainian children, and our librarians who work with children. Why we came up with this art festival idea? That we found out that there are a number of Ukrainian families who won't let their children go outside alone their houses. And this is a reason why we cannot be active part of our library members. We cannot learn Lithuanian language at the same level as other people who can be in the library. So we hope that this festival will be a good tool to bring families together, to improve Lithuanian language, and that families will find out that our library is a safe space. So the idea, community-based art festival engaging Ukrainian local families and national artists, creative integration and informal language learning, activities designed to foster creativity, collaboration and cultural awareness, and language learning naturally integrated through creative practices and intercultural exchange. So what we are going to do, we will do the festival opening with Kakemake. Kakemake is most popular character in Lithuania. We asked the Ukrainian children, do we know her, do we like her, and they agreed that for them as well is the most popular character. So we will start with this character, and we hope that it will be a big boom for our festival and integration. So as well, we are planning literary workshops and book talk, a session of an author who presents their book and leads an open discussion on its central themes. The concept that we are thinking that everything it will be in Lithuanian language, in basic Lithuanian language. If it will be need, we will translate in Ukrainian language, but the first idea that everything will be in Lithuanian language. That is very unique. As well, we are going to do a creative workshop. The concept is that participants immerse in complete darkness, wearing special glasses that block sight, and they explore language beyond words through touch, sound, and smell, experiencing how meaning emerges without vision. So it will be 2 phases. The first phase is sensory dialogue, and the second phase, collective creation. So the result will be a collective created tactical bag, a symbol of connection, understanding, and shared sensory language. As well, we are planning social art workshop, exploring the world through art. So we will invite experienced art educator. As well, we are planning performance art by guest artists that will challenge the audience to interpret meanings beyond words, sparking curiosity and dialogue. And the last activity, sometimes we are joking, but it's true that food connects us. So we are planning really very unique activity, art and food, sensory culinary experience that participants are invited to see food as a form of artistic expression, share impressions, and engage in multisensory dialogue. So we hope that informal learning of Lithuanian language happens through interaction, collaboration, and creative expression. So we believe that art becomes a tool for communication and learning. So, thank you.
Thank you, Līna. Anni, Ineta, aicinātu tagad apsēsties šeit. Mēs varētu pakāpeniski pievērsties arī paneļa diskusijas sadaļai. Mēģināšu
So I will try to make this part in 2 languages, and we will start with, I want to check the temperature in the room. So the representative libraries, how many have language cafes or language courses, informal language learning in the libraries? How many libraries have them? In which libraries do we have language learning?
There were 3 hands from our colleagues here who told that at least in those 3 libraries there are some sort of language cafes for informal workshops for learning local languages. But mēs varētu varbūt sākt diskusiju ar tādu īsu jautājumu, varbūt tā padalīties.
Now we have some questions. So the colleagues told the stories. Please give comments. What were you thought about? Maybe some experiences you can take to your libraries or your country.
So by listening also to our colleagues, what was some ideas or maybe some things that you find useful that could you also bring back to your country? So, kurš vēlās izteikties, esat aicināts.
So you are welcome to express your opinions. Anni, maybe we can start with you.
But you heard what would you like to bring back to your country, to Estonia, Tartu?
So it works, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The last presentation was very full of ideas, but where do you get funding actually for all this? We are quite, they don't really give money for library to make so very big events. But, maybe you can explain or how you are you making projects or where you get fundings for this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So what about the fundings?
Sorry?
What about the fundings? Yeah.
fundings. Actually, we did a lot without fundings, and because it's sometimes difficult to find good fundings, and Art Festival, it will be funded by European Union project, so we are happy that we can author this opportunity. And another thing that I will take to my country, actually this language cafes is really great idea. I am very happy that our team joined teacher. So of course we are most things we are doing for children. So so I think it would be a good idea to have a new activity for our Ukrainian children and as well as for Lithuanian children, because the main thing that integration should be by both sides, that we as well, Lithuanians as well, sometimes understand that what does it mean to learn new language. So this is my point of view.
Okay, thank you. Un, Minēta, kas no dzirdētā būtu tāds,
And Dineta, what from what you have heard you can tell about what you would bring to Salaspils? I could say that there is one line that we have started. It's work with children. And we plan together with summer camps that are already happening for 2 years together for Latvian and Ukrainian children, that the library would get involved more into these activities, offering some interactive activities. But of course, the question is if there are enough human resources in library, because the needs are more than available resources, and a lot of work, of course, we need to start doing. Today we are really concentrated on Libri project. We are involved, and really seriously we are thinking how this language courses could be organized for Ukrainians. So they are happening in the evening. So those who would like to join, they are working in Riga, and while they come back from Riga to Salaspils, only then they can join the language courses. But we will bring forward and make it available for them. Yeah, there were a lot of information about that everybody wants language courses after 5 p.m. after work.
About how you started Language Cafe, and also how you started those informal language activities. What were the biggest challenges that you faced, and what might be your suggestions to your colleagues how to overcome those?
The biggest challenge, as I mentioned, that families don't want to let children come to the library alone. So, as I mentioned as well, that when children comes to the library, they improve Lithuanian language, we improve their social skills, and we can see practically that children who don't go, we don't have opportunity to improve their this informal language. Of course, we have to learn to speak and in the schools and to read in Lithuanian language, but it's very different when we come to our library. So in our case, the most biggest challenges are families.
And how you are solving this? Or what are the tools that you're using?
We cannot solve because because they are very close. Of course, we talk families by families because we won't let children go alone. We didn't do any researches to understand why it is. Of course, we can have some interpretations. So because of that, we decided to do this art festival that all families could connect to each other, to bring them together, and to show that library is safe place that children will stay alone. So we hope that we'll solve this our challenge, this problem, this festival, that it will be the first step to go further. And the second thing, of course, is that some children, they come to the library with teachers, to some activities, to meet writers, to meet other people, but children can come, but their families don't let them go alone.
Libraries are a sort of dangerous place to visit.
I mean, it's not just about library, just generally to go outside alone. And as I said before, I cannot say why, because we didn't do any researches on analysis on that issue. But of course, it's like we think maybe that it's dangerous to go alone. Of course, it's normal. It's new place. Nobody knows what can happen, and children are the most value.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And Anni, what about dangerosity of libraries in Estonia? And you also mentioned that in presentation that you started this language cafe already 8 years ago. So that means you have quite an experience.
No, I started later. I started 2023, but this was my colleague from main building. Challenge. I think one is how to get people to such motivation that they would at all start to learn Estonian, because we have still a lot of local Russians who actually are not willing. And I mean, now more and more they might need it, but I've noticed that when person doesn't have really some urgent need to learn, they don't go suddenly to some course normally. And also language cafe, I see that people are coming because they have some exam coming, and then they want to exercise before that to get more freely speaking. Some reason should be, or they finished one course, or they just came to Estonia and just finished one Estonian course, and now they want to somehow continue. That, how to get the others to learn this, I don't know yet.
Okay, thank you. Ineta,
you mentioned when you talked about salaspils that in there are a lot of seniors, older-aged people who come to library for educational process. Do you have any experience of youngsters and their involvement into library? Yes, actually, Ukrainian children really like to come to the library, and if we in 2022 bought books in Ukrainian language, both for adults and for children. So Ukrainians now read in Latvian, and actually they are the first ones, the pioneers who have learned Latvian language, those who study in local schools, and in this way they are joining together class activities from school when they meet some writers, like Internet Day, they are full participants of library activities. But then there is a part which is studying in long-distance schools. So there we have to think how to reach them. It's not easy. We are cooperating with Salaspils Municipality Social Services, and they don't don't always have notices about Ukrainians who come to the city, then they don't say anything and they go travel somewhere else. So we have no. And I also wanted to mention, talking about the challenges, about the seniors, our big challenge is actually we are not talking much about political topics, but from time to time in the conversations you come upon war in Ukraine, and then there are different opinions, and so that we don't cultivate fighting atmosphere, we are learning how to be very respectful to each other. Yeah, I think it was a very important thing that you mentioned.
How about in Estonia and Lithuania? Have you also faced this different attitudes toward Russian invasion in Ukraine, and how maybe you have felt also that this somehow reflects also either in language cafe, either in informal workshops?
Didn't come to any conflict yet, but yeah, Ukrainians want to speak somehow about their this somehow. I don't know. I think I've been avoiding such subjects. Okay. But we have also Russians in group who just came also because of war. I think they didn't want to go to army, and then they found this reason to come here. And okay, I don't know. Yeah. I think somehow I avoided these subjects, not to come to any conflict.
Okay. And Lina, how about in Akmene?
Can you repeat the question?
Have you experienced some sort of different opinions from, let's say, Ukrainians and Russians toward Russian invasion in Ukraine? And has this made some sort of conflicts or something?
In our library,
in
we have Lithuanian and Ukrainians.
Okay.
So I cannot. Of course, in our town, you can find Russian people, but in our library we have just Lithuanian and Ukrainians, and actually we don't have any problems. So I cannot say you that we challenge some different opinions or something. I am very happy that we know which. It's. I don't want to now to start another discussion, but I'm very happy that we don't have any problems, and we support Ukraine, and children support as well. So I'm very happy of that.
Maybe the audience has any questions about how in your own library you can start teaching language. I will take the microphone. Hello. I probably should ask in Latvian. Thank you so much for your presentations and the information. I'm from Integration Institution, and I would like to ask if you have any experience in larger integration activities for larger group of third countries. Maybe you have experience or specific challenges, and in general your thoughts from the professional side working in this sector, in short.
Who would like to start?
Kurš vēlētos sākt?
About wider experience. Kā Ineta ir Salaspilī?
how it is in Salaspils. So as Salaspils municipality is also a center for other libraries, so we know how the experience is in Riga libraries. And unfortunately, in Salaspils, we don't have other third country civilians, maybe because we are closer to Riga. And and in Riga there are more job opportunities. In Salaspils, and Salaspils is not that large of a city, and the community is not the place where we know each other, all of them. Probably in the smaller communities it is easier to see the people from other countries, like people from China and India, and also from former Soviet countries. But in Salaspils, the more accent is on the locals and Ukrainian civilians.
With working with other third country persons, not from Ukraine, but from other ones. You mentioned Syrians, you mentioned something from Middle East.
Not in my group. No, yeah, some are sometimes coming, but not so much that I would say something generally.
Okay.
In my district, actually, we have few from other countries, but foreigners and refugees, but it's not a big amount, not a big number. So mainly we work with Ukrainians, and it's integration is all the time is a big challenge for country. As it is, and we do as much as we can, especially with Naujoji Akmenė is it's a town, not the biggest city in Lithuania, but we do as much as possible. There are many people who try integrate them to offer jobs, and for instance, we have NGO who tries to bring all Ukrainians together. So for us it's very important, for me personally as well is very important, and as I mentioned before, we went to try to connect Ukrainian and Lithuanian families together, and that we will find a new opportunities to be together with our communities, with our society. So yeah, so I hope that it will be successful, and maybe next time I will come back here and we'll see that it's the best tool that we used and that we did a good progression.
Okay, thank you. Mums ir, jā, vēl vienam jautājumam, mums ir laiks no zāles.
We have a question for, we have time for one more question from the audience.
Jā, vēl vienam mums ir laiks.
One.
Sorry, it's me again. Thank you so much for your presentations. I think my question is about the experiences in own libraries, but also from communities, because I live in a village where we have people from, Belarus, from Ukraine, from Russia, from Ireland, from like myself, Latvian region. And for us, we also need to integrate. And I think integration is super important because we don't want to leave any person behind. And because social loneliness, discrimination, especially now, with the geopolitical situation in the world, I think we have to start looking at things also that we need to include people no matter what age, race, no matter what language they speak. And I think libraries are very, very important resource. To ask, please, if, well, I understand that obviously we have different focus at a time, in certain time and whatever, you know, but do we look at also including minorities within our small little communities into integrating them, and via what resources we will do that? Events only, or also books, or also, I don't know, some other things? What way would we integrate also those small little minorities that are still part of our society. Thank you.
So about other minorities as well, and working with those, including, have you any experience with that in Tartu or Akmene, or maybe there's something you want to add on this topic? So if not, then I think this is a very good question that we can explore during dinner. This
is a good question we can discuss during the dinner, I think. And probably now we can applause to our speakers. And we are going to go to the panel number 2, the discussion, panel discussion, or second part, where we are going to have 2 speakers. And this topic is about something that Katrina mentioned in her presentation about digital skills, something that is needed in the modern world and in the modern library. Therefore, it will be our second part central topic. And this topic is especially important when we have quite large digital dissonance, people who have no skills and who have a lot of skills. And we are going to share what would be the tools to improve this situation. So we are going to have 2 speakers. First, Ogres Central Library representative Inga Niedre and Veronika Angel-Bergli from Vadsø Library, head of the library in Norway. So Inga, please, we invite you there. And Veronika, also come find the chair and get ready.
Applause, Inga.
Please give an applause to Inga. Hello, everybody. My name is Inga Niedre. I represent Ogres Central Library. I have been working in library almost 10 years, but you can say that at the moment my institutional memory has been longer, especially in public libraries. I have worked for 20 years in Cultural Ministry Information Systems Center, and my own experience is actually connected with digital skills and their learning in libraries. So basically, what are we doing in Central Library? I want to give you a background about Latvian public libraries, what is happening with technologies and education. Since 2004-2009 years, in Latvian public libraries, technologies have been introduced with quite large project. This is the information system of governmental joint library. The GAT funded it, and other development project funding. All public libraries have computers. Librarians have been educated to use them, and in the large part of regional public libraries, there are also educational centers. And in this case, I would like to comment also, the people might comment that some years have passed since 2004, 2009, 2012, but I should say that libraries are owned by municipalities, and municipalities have been obliged and they agreed to update these technologies, and actually technologies have been updated quite up to time, and the internet, and which is available even after the premises of library. So you should not even be the user of the library. You just come to the building and use the internet. And I also would like to stress that in Latvia we have global level librarians. They have been studied a lot. They have been studying a lot, and they are continuing studying, especially also their computer digital skills, how to use governmental services in the internet, and how to educate library users how to work with these digital skills. And this gives an opportunity to learn how to teach different kind of groups of people. And these educational courses are also about skills that are connected with just some everyday needs, like, for example, e-governments services. They are needed. We librarians can also teach how to write CV, how to write motivational letter, how to look for the job, and also how to work with media, how to read the news and understand which news are trusted. So the librarians are keeping learning, lifelong learning. It's really like a trend, and librarians are happy to join like studies, for example, in National Labor Library, where they have like an opportunity to also in cultural institution. They are also offering some courses about the use of the local resources available. And we all really know that nowadays there are so many opportunities to study even without financing. And even Latvian local courses, but also global platforms like e-course, for example, are offering a lot of opportunities. And if we look at the pluses and minuses, so opportunities, they are a lot here. There are different resources that you can find in the internet, but there are also a lot of challenges. And one of the main is, of course, language barrier. If the person wants to study, he needs to know the language, and he needs to have a resource to study in the language he or she knows. And one also big challenge is how to reach those who need the training. I will tell you a bit later about this. I also think that I need to tell you that this year in Latvia, for the year, one of the ministries is implementing the national level project about digital skills development. And within this project, all Latvian citizens can study 3 first DIC-Comp levels. Trainings are available in situ and also online. They are without any charge. Anybody can study, and he or she doesn't even need to be Latvian citizen. Newcomers, foreigners, and I know that Riga municipality at the moment tries to understand how they could this training make available for those who don't have Latvian language skills. At the moment, this question is being discussed. And why I think that this is important to tell about this project, it's because it is implemented in almost all municipalities, and trainings are happening in public libraries, in the created educational centers. And librarians, part of them, are also like mentors and implementing those trainings. They are like teachers within those trainings. And if we talk especially about Ogre Central Library, what is happening there, we are talking a lot and discussing with our people who come to visit library and who also have some migration experience. We have talked that youngsters and children and working age population, they say that they don't need education from library at the moment. What they need is a place. They need computers, because a lot of them, even if they have computer, it's quite outdated and old, and they cannot be very good at work with this kind of computer. So they need internet as well. They are also telling about the seniors that they are not going out of home.
and we don't know how to reach them and how to invite them to libraries, because they are those people who need to improve their digital skills and to have some basic knowledge on that. If we talk about especially those people who have digital skills and they don't need anything extra, they are saying that it would be valuable if library would provide in their web page like a combination of resources, like one place where all resources are available about housing, about municipality services, about education, about rest. And at the moment they are going to social services website and different websites, but they would love it if library would combine all of that information, and if this would be a place for community to meet and you could trust this place and you can receive a trusted information from here. And also about the books, they are saying that would be really needed to have books online, because they are all working and they don't have a lot of time to come physically to library, but at the in the evenings they would like to read. And then the question is about translating the materials or no. They are saying no, we don't need translation. We already know there are a lot of tools where we are on our own, we can translate, so it would be great if you can just in Latvian language can combine all of that on your web page. And at the end, I didn't put a slide with this, but there is like IFLA, which is Library International Institution, and last November they developed guidelines how libraries should work with people with migration experience, with refugees, with immigrants, and in these guidelines there is quite clearly expressed in English all sectors and technologies, and so socializing all of the sectors and topics. If we librarians will open these guidelines, we don't need to invent something else. There everything is written what we need to do and implement in our libraries. That was very quickly all. Thank you. Thank you, Inga. And as the next one, we will invite Vaco Library, head of Vaco Library, Veronika.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for the invitation. While I speak, I have a few supporting slides, but most of the information is what I will say, not in the slides. I first started working at the Vaco Municipality Library in 2012. My position back then included developing the library services and program towards the immigrant population. Vaco is a small town in Norway with nearly 6,000 inhabitants, located up north of Finland and nearby the Russian border. Back in 2012, Vaco had north of Norway's largest asylum reception center and was one of the municipalities in Norway that settled the most refugees per capita. The services back then included several different integration services, such as language cafes, Norwegian training groups, hobby nights, access and guidance to computers, and simple digital courses, and so on. In January last year, I returned to Vaco Library, this time as the new director. In the meantime, the asylum center had been moved from Vaco for several years, but reopened the same year as I started. And the number of settled refugees had also been lower for some years. Because of this, the library for some years had stopped offering several, but not all, of the services mentioned above. Today, the numbers of immigrants and refugees has increased again. Around 10% of the population is immigrants, and we have more than 300 settled refugees from Ukraine, and between 100 and 150 people living at the asylum center, of which 80% is from Ukraine. Naturally, the library is now yet again focusing more on rebuilding our integration and multicultural services. Before I move on to how we work with digital skills, I certainly want to address the purpose clause in the Norwegian Public Library Act. In Norway, public libraries shall promote enlightenment, education, and other cultural activities through active dissemination and by making books and other media freely available to all residents of the country. We shall serve as independent meeting place and as an arena for public dialogue and debate. And in our services, we shall emphasize quality, diversity, and relevance. In my view, if a public library are to fulfill our social mission for all residents of Norway, multicultural library services must be taken seriously. And in Norway, digital competence is of essence. Without any digital competence, you are left behind. In Norway, around 14% of the population has none or very low digital competence. If you include people who are digitally or technically insecure, the number will be a lot higher. And are you to get around the jungle of bureaucracy required to seek asylum or try to create a new life, you need to be digital. Almost all communication, forms, application, and documentation are done digitally. The bank is digital. If you have a child, the information from the kindergarten and the school comes on digital platforms. Even your kid's local football club probably uses an app for information and notification. So, how do we at Vadsø Library work with digital inclusion and digital development skills? First of all, for me it's important that everybody working at the library understand the library's role and the need for digital inclusion, and that all the employees know the most common questions and needs, and that they all can help out with simple digital guidance. Everybody should be able to come to our counter with a digital problem and expect some kind of help and guidance. At the library, we have computers and an open Wi-Fi that everybody can use. We have a printer connected to our computers and a printer that you can print directly from your cell phone. This I consider standard services. Last year, several units within Vadsø municipality started a project using co-creation as a method to create services that could help more people keep up with digital developments. The project was in cooperation with, amongst others, the local senior association and the voluntary service center. The goal was to create low-threshold services where individuals with little or no digital skills could receive training and guidance. The library was deeply involved in the project, and co-creation is a method I have worked with quite a bit. Therefore, the co-creation sessions were mostly led by the library. Even though a huge focus for this project when designing new services was the elderly population, I knew that immigrants and refugees, as well as other user groups at the library, would benefit. In my experience, many of the needs and challenges are the same. But when it comes to immigrants, you have an additional challenge with the language barriers. And for some immigrants, it's not really the digital skills that are lacking, but mostly language barriers and maybe access to a computer or a printer. So at the library, we include everybody. Out of the project, we have several services in Vadsø. At the local high school, students offer regular digital classes at the high school as a part of their curriculum. These have so far been mostly marketed to the elderly, but here we have plans to move some of these into the library and make it open to everybody. At the Volunteer Service Center, they have lectures and short, more in-depth courses connected to a theme, for instance, on scam and fraud. A lot, especially elderly, have lost a lot of money because they are not aware when they open emails and answer questions. At the library, we continue to offer our standard services, and in addition, we offer a service we have named Datahjelpa, or computer help, which is a drop-in one-to-one guidance every Wednesday between 11 and 1 o'clock. And here you can sit down and get help either on your own device or on one of our computers. And you can also book time with a member of staff if the drop-in time is inconvenient or your question or problem is more extensive. Some of these services are elsewhere than in the library right now. And I think it's important and useful to collaborate with others, both within the municipality organization and clubs and associations and organizations without the municipality organization. But I think it's important to remind both us and them of the uniqueness of the library. We have a unique position when it comes to reaching the entire population. Studies show that people trust the library. and that the public library is seen as a safe place, no matter which gender you have, what age you are, what ethnicity or what socioeconomical background you have, if you're sitting alone or in a group. In Norway, there has been a huge focus on digital inclusion, which is a good help for us in our service designing. The project Vadsø municipality had was made possible by fundings offered by the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. Also, the Norwegian Association of Local and Regional Authorities, KS, which is represented here, organizes webinars and has a lot of resources and helpful material on how to work with digital inclusion. And the National Library in Norway offers access to resources, guidance, and best practices. I have some links, I'm not going to open them now, but that's to KS and the National Library. My advice is to know your community, to collaborate, but also co-create, to ask your patrons, your user questions, what do they need? Ask other units in the municipality about their experience. What does your community need? How can your library, with all that the library stands for, address this? And use other libraries as your network. And conferences like this is worth their weight in gold when it comes to the last point. Make networks and ask good questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronika, and now I will invite you to join here in the middle. Inga, arī tevi mēs aicināsim šeit. Both of you mentioned that well, those digital skills are quite necessary, and but the problem is that there are quite many of those seniors and elderly people and those people who are living alone or not willing to participate or not willing to go to libraries. What might be the way how libraries could get some access to those people? Because it's not possible to communicate in digital channels as those persons are not using those. You mentioned the local communities and knowing patrons, but what would be your suggestion? How it would be possible to access them?
I could start. It is actually proven that personal communication is something that works all the time. And if we are going to communicate with those people and ask them, and then we can get them to our libraries, the question is how we can get to know where are these people who we need to address. So that's why in Liber project, and also before that we had partnerships, social services, people with migration experience, non-formal organizations. Through them, we will get the information who we need to address. And this is just personal communication, personal meetings that will help to get them. And recently, we had an experience with Ukrainian people. We invited them to the event, to the discussion about what in the library they can find useful. And we asked them, why are you so few who came? In WhatsApp group, we sent the invitations, but they are saying that we are actually, this invitation was too formal, but we need to come to us and ask really personally. We Latvians might be this quite formal invitation seems enough for us, but for them no. So we think to think outside the box, and invite them and address personally.
And what about you? What will be also your suggestions without the things that you mentioned regarding asking your patrons and getting to know community?
Well, I think this is why it's so important to cooperate both with other units within the municipality, like we have a cooperation with health, and they reach other people that we don't reach and can tell them about what we offer at the library to help. And we have also at the volunteer center, and then actually when we did the co-creation sessions, we went, for instance, to the bakery because we knew a lot of seniors would gather there every day. So we went there at the time we knew they were gathering, and we sat down and we bought a cup of coffee and we said, hey, we're trying to create a project here. We're trying to figure out how to reach you. What do you need? Where can we reach you? And how can we work with you? And that's, I think you have to think outside the box and you need to use other resources and you need to go out of the library and seek out the people that you don't reach within the library actively.
That might be quite easy in a crowded places or crowded areas, but in Norway and also in many regions in Latvia, this density of population is quite scattered. So that means that sometimes you need to travel quite long distance to those persons. How would be the tools or ways how to access those ones who are living further away? And not going weekly basis in cafe or bakery.
In Ogres Central Library, we have mobile library, Bibliobus, that is also for those connecting with people with migration experience. We know where they live in the district, in the region, and we have like a map with the points where we and how we change the location of mobile bus, and we will stop there. This is one of the ways how to reach them. And I think it will work quite well. And this way, libraries become more like social instruments, social tools. Yeah, and as I understand, library law also includes this. In Liber project, we also developed some strategies, and we put in there also same things that are in law, in library law, and we thought how nice and great that it all happened at one time. We put in the strategies how to reach people, how to ensure what they need, and in the form that they would need.
So far away from the capital city.
Yes, quite far away from Oslo. Well, at the Volunteer Center, they have a group of volunteers that are visiting friends of elderly people. So we have used some of them to reach out to people. And we have also been thinking about, and we are not doing it right now, but if we should do the same with books, like if people could actually order books, but then again, they have to do it by phone or digital or somewhere, kind of contact us, and because we don't have a bus. I wish we had a bus. Our neighbor municipality has a bus, and I'm really envious about that bus, but that we somehow in another way could reach out and help. But when it comes to the immigrants and the refugees, they are located mostly near the city center and the municipality center. The asylum center is quite near the library, and most of the people that get residency also live nearby. So that won't be that's not the issue. It's more about reaching them. So they know what we can offer. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe in the audience there is any question? If there are no questions, then
we could end this session with maybe a suggestion or wishing some good things to colleagues in other libraries. What would be the way how to how you would engage and endorse colleagues also to do the same things that you are doing. Endorsement for colleagues.
Endorsement. I think kind of what I said with the advices. I think it's, and we know our community, and we just kind of need to ask the right questions and dare to go out of the library and use conferences like this to get networks. So you have someone to talk to and discuss ideas and experience. That's important, I think. You know, everybody will do mistakes as well. And it's really nice to have someone you can tell, oh, I tried that and it didn't work at all. And then get, you know, new ideas or new ways.
Maybe you have some inspirational words to the colleagues. Well, no, it's too expensive and not really. Yeah, but I would wish you to talk more about what you do, and also your employers will hear it and understand how much you do. It will be also better for you. Maybe you will receive more financing, and also those people with migration experience, they need both digital skills and also your support to use different Latvia offered educational opportunities, and this way they will hear you better. So talk about your activities, talk about yourself. Thank you, Inga, and thank you, Veronica. And we have one more presentation today, one story that is going to be the closing story of today, and we will be able to start getting ready for tomorrow. I would really love to invite Greta Glebavičiūtė. She's from Lithuania. She's going to talk about the mentoring upside down experience from Lithuania.
So hello everyone, I'm Greta. I'm really honored to be here. Thanks for organizing this, and especially thanks for Northern Council of Minister Office in Lithuania for inviting us. And yes, we are really glad to have this opportunity to talk about the organization. And the talk that I will going to provide, it will be a little bit different because I'm not coming from library. I'm coming from the arts agency. So we are Artscape. We are art agency and non-profit organization based in Vilnius, Lithuania, working all around Lithuania, and we're bridging the culture, art, and inclusion and integration. So we believe in art for change. What I mean by that is usually when we talk about integration, the keywords that we think about is language, accommodation, shelter, food, right? But in our organization, we believe that beyond the shelter and food, which are necessity, are really important things for the people, newcomers, art and culture can be a tool how people can connect with each other and express their emotions and their feelings, and that's how we want to create more open society. So this is the goals of our organization. So first, as I said, open society. So we believe that through art and culture, we can talk about difficult topics as migration, refugees, war. And through art, we can challenge the topics, challenge the stereotypes and stigmas, and open the dialogue with the civic society about the topics that we all talking today. And also, we believe that migrants and refugees that are coming to Lithuania or to other countries from the war zones or from the other zones, they can express themselves more freely using some kind of art tools, right? And just to understand the scale and how we work with refugees, so this is the example of one of our program, which is happening 4 years in a row together with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. So it's called Creative Missions. So we have 21, right now we have 14, but we had in 3 years 21 artists and educators that are going to the refugee and reception centers and providing the workshops for people that are living there. There are some reception centers where people cannot actually freely going out of the building. So for them, these workshops are really, really important just to like normalize their life. And you can see the numbers. So over 3 years, we visited more than 1,500 migrants in these centers. And also, we are focusing really on like the most sensitive group of people. So we work also a lot with the children. This year and last year, we had a group of children, Ukrainians, that come here without their parents. So it's like really, really the sensitive group of people. And yeah, we work across Lithuania. And yeah, I think that I said all the important facts. And the philosophy that we have while working with refugees is that we don't see them as the audience. We want to make them participants. So we talk with them and like communicate with them with dignity, and we not see them as aid recipient. And when we are coming with this philosophy to them, then it's easier to create the community, and then we can see that they are speaking more freely. And when they're speaking more freely, then we can actually make a change that reflects what people actually need. So that's not us deciding what they need, that's them saying what they need, and we taking this feedback and providing the services for them. And the photo, for example, you can see Kata. She's at Mo Museum. It's a private museum in Vilnius, like the most popular museum. Everyone's going there, and she's exhibiting her art installation and talking with artists, one from not Lithuania and another from Lithuania. So that's one of illustrative example how the refugees are becoming the voice and the creators and the participants. So when we talk about Artscape, about organization, we're saying that we are bridging organization, and the bridge looks like this. So we bridging culture with integration, meaning that on the culture side, there are libraries, there are museums, other cultural institutions from whom we are bringing migrant communities, and on the other side, there is integration, so migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, migrant organizations, social workers that want to use cultural institutions and the spaces for democratic dialogues, for exhibitions, for events, and etc. So we try to be this matching point and initiate the cultural institution change and integrate the integration topic. So before going, I want to share that in the other slides, I'm going to share 5 case studies that shows how we bridge the culture and integration topics, and some of the examples will be related to libraries. Other examples are not necessarily related to libraries, but I expect that you will still get inspiration from them. And I will show some videos. So because we are art agencies, so we need to show some what we did. So so the first case study is a refugee week in Lithuania. It's happening all over the world. We are the official organizer of Refugee Week in Lithuania. So on 20 of June, we have the National Refugees Day. Before that, a week after, we do the festival, and 2 years in a row we connect other organizations, which are galleries, libraries, NGOs, municipalities. They are creating their own events, and we are adding them to the agenda. So they are creating like quiz nights or guiding tours or like any type different sources of events. And one of the main thing of this week, of this festival, is the main day of the festival. So usually the 20th of June, during which we invite artists that are not only Lithuanians, but mostly refugee background artists from different kind of countries. So sometimes we also have foreign people coming from other countries, not only from Lithuania. Sometimes we have a mix in the group in the band. We have Lithuanians and non-Lithuanian people. So that's what we want. We want to create the celebration that is not only for the migrants and for refugees, but also for the civic society, for Lithuanians, so they can be together and celebrate. And of course, we still invite the Lithuanian artists that are mobilized for this awareness spreading. So I will start showing the videos. And this is from 2023. Got the vibe of the event. So usually we have like from 5 till I think last year we have 7 bands or artists that are performing, and everyone is dancing and everything. So also I have another video. This is the art performance made by a choreographer that is she's well known, but she also invited refugee background people to participate in the art performance, and also an example how a cultural institution can integrate into the process. So we did this performance that I'm going to show in the National Art Galleries. So we make the cultural institution spaces as an open space to talk about these important topics.
Please raise your hands up with us.
So that's what we are doing during the Refugee Week. And I will show the other case study, which is related with the libraries. So this year we had event together with the National Library in Lithuania. And the main result, like the main aim of the event was for cultural institutions, including mostly libraries, to connect with migrant organizations or social workers. So like organizations like Red Cross or Caritas you have here as well. So as a result, we had 18 cultural institutions, mostly libraries, that had meetings in the like speed dating type of meeting atmosphere with 7 migration organizations, and as a result they talked about the projects that they can do together, new fundraising opportunities, the guided tours that they can do for Ukrainian communities or for other refugee communities. So that was like a new, a start of a collaboration. So it's a really good type of event that you can do as well in your countries, in your libraries. So I just offered to do this. And yes, I have some pictures. That's how it looked. And the other case study is, this year also, we established a strategic partnership with the National Museum of Art that has 12 departments, and that shows us also how that cultural institutions are interested in this topic. And later this year and the next years, we will do the trainings for the museum staff in the integration topic. Of the integration topic, also we plan to do joint exhibitions and programs highlighting the migration narratives and topics, and yeah, it provides us the national visibility and validation. And this will be a video of our educator speaking about the movement therapy session with Ukrainian women community that also was done in one of the museum auditorium.
And to be in this practice, I think sometimes really helpful in so many levels. So I'm presenting how it's helpful for me go through life. Then people maybe react, and then they are willing more to say, maybe I want to try also. So I think first entering like this, and then when you see that your actions suits to the people need, then you can go through it together.
It's healthy.
For me, in total, the being healthy, it is related to practice with your body. It is related to practice with some creativity. And I think when people don't use these capacities, they really lose a very easy, like a key to enter that stage of happiness, of calmness, of being kind.
And if we move to the other case study, so as I said, we are visiting refugees that are asylum seekers that are living in the reception center in Pabrada. Some of those people, they cannot move out, like they cannot move to the town. They're just being in the center. So two of our educators were doing the workshops together with them, and out of those creative workshops they made an exhibition, and they exhibited the thoughts of the people that they were, because like when you start doing this art workshops in the beginning, it's super difficult for the educators to make them speak, to make the people speak, and it needs it needs a lot of workshops for them to start to feel that they can share their thoughts and how they feel. But that happened eventually, and out of this we created the exhibition. And what I wanted to point here is that exhibition was exhibited not in like Vilnius, but in this regional town Pabrada, where a lot of refugees are living, and where there is the reception center, and it engaged the local audience to come and to visit the exhibition and to learn that there are people like these living in their town. So I know that people like from kindergarten went there, people from a school went there, and that was their first time when they learned that there are the reception center in the town. So yeah, so it's really important to communicate, to partner with the regions, especially those that has a lot of migrants and refugees. And I'm going to show another video. It shows how the exhibition was made. And I want to read one of the quotes, which was the exhibition name as well. So the quote was by the person that lives in the Pabrade Registration Center. So it says, "Sometimes I feel like a dandelion in the wind that was blown into the water, but I probably shouldn't be in the water, but here I am." Okay, I think we are moving to the last case study. So inclusion trainings for cultural organization, also a program that we started doing this year. So in this program, the main aim is to go visit also usually regional cultural institutions and do the integration trainings for the cultural staff. Workers, so also we see that a lot of like people that work in library comes to these trainings, and this is also a way for them to meet the integration coordinators in their cities and towns, because usually cultural institutions, they don't know who they are, and also this is a way for them to meet each other. So it's not only a purpose of the training, providing them a tool how to work with migrants and how to integrate them in their communities, but also as a meeting point and a spark for new partnerships. Yeah, some pictures. And I want to end the presentation on a positive note. So I know that it's really hard to measure the KPIs and like the social work, right? Because it's really hard to measure how people are they starting to feeling better or no. But there is a story that we witness. So it's Farah's story. And she came in Lithuania from Syria in 2016. And she was a participant of our creative mission in the registration center. And later on, she became a volunteer at Artscape agency. And then she became an educator when she went herself to the reception centers and did the workshop for the others. And right now she is creator, she is participating in the discussions, and she creates her own audience and talks about her experience with others. So it's a beautiful transformation. I will show a video of her artwork as well.
The sea, waters of great depth and mystery that always lured people to write about its creatures and venture into the unknown, looking for more treasures, more knowledge, and more connection. Iraq, 721 AD. Jabir ibn Hayyan, the famous alchemist, was looking for a creature called Tabib al-Bahr, or physician of the sea. A sea inhabitant that has a gemstone on its forehead, capable of healing all kind of illness, and was told to grant the one who finds it immortality. The alchemist set sail into the Indian Ocean with a group of skilled sailors in search for the creature. And when they reached the island of Sindhiad, they found one of the mystical creatures and they caught it using a net. It wasn't until the creature started striking its face in an act of desperation that Jabir bin Hayyan realized it was a beautiful female, so he took her upon the ship and allowed her to live in one of the cabins. Using the gemstone on her forehead to heal the wounded sailors, the journey goes on and eventually the female Tabib al-Bahr and a young sailor fall in love, get married, and eventually have a son together. Now that everyone trusted that Tabib al-Bahr won't escape, they allowed her to live amongst them and roam freely on the ship. Unfortunately, the creature had a deep longing for her freedom and managed eventually to escape. Yet she came back one day to save the crew, her husband, and her son.
Okay, I'm
from a
mindful of
horrific
time,
storm.
so if you want to watch the full video, you can go to Artscape Arts Agency YouTube channel and you can watch all the videos that I showed today. So just to conclude what I mentioned in the presentation, so Artscape bridge culture and migration by creating inclusive cultural programs and events, connecting institutions with migrant communities, building partnerships between culture and migration sectors, and sharing knowledge on inclusion with the cultural institution workers, and also transforming cultural spaces into inclusive platforms. So as a call to action, I want to invite you to talk with me after the event, and also put your brick in this bridge that we are doing together with the cultural institutions, and also really invite you to join the Refugee Week that is going to happen next year in the June, so we can collaborate and do beautiful things. And yeah, that's it from my side. That's my beautiful team, and you can scan the QR code to go to our website. Thanks a lot.
Inspiring and energetic story, and I truly believe that afterwards we'll have a dinner, and maybe then you will have a lot of questions. Bet jāsaka, ka ar to arī mūsu konferences pirmā diena ir izskanējusi. Man liekas, šodien bija diezgan tādi daudz un interesanti.
It brings closure to the first day of our conference. We had quite a lot of different information, starting from the library law and other normative acts and regulations. We listened also to about the needs of Ukrainian civilians and how libraries can help in solving these issues. We had 2 panels and also inspirational story from Greta. The day hasn't ended yet. You are all welcome to dinner upstairs. That started 4 minutes ago, and we will be able to spend 2 hours in conversations, in communication. We have live music. And I would like to remind that tomorrow we continue the conference here in the same place at 9 a.m. And then it was moderated by Linda. We can thank all the speakers.